There is a frequency that changes everything. It doesn't come from outside. It doesn't need rituals, gurus, or hidden secrets. It is already inside you, waiting to be activated with a single word. This word has been silently passed down through generations. Thoth called it the sound of 0 point, and when you sing it the right way, with the right emotion, your vibration realigns immediately. This is not theory. It's pure vibrational practice. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to do it. But not just any way. Because before you activate this code, you need to understand why your reality hasn't changed yet, even with all your spiritual effort. And once that becomes clear, you'll be ready to release the sound. The sound that changes your frequency and never leaves you in the same place again. Stay with me until the end, because what you're going to sing is not just a sound, it's a turning point. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, vibration, and harmony. Get ready, because what you're about to hear isn't a theory. It's a revelation that has already been spoken by sages, hidden by systems, and now confirmed by science itself. Everything is vibration. Yes, everything. From the structure of atoms to the flow of thoughts, from the physical body to the subtlest emotion, from the densest stone to the most distant star, nothing is still. Everything pulses. Everything vibrates in a constant state of energetic movement. The ancient Egyptians knew this. To them, matter was just a condensed form of energy vibrating at a specific frequency. The alchemists of the Middle Ages spoke of this when referring to transmutation, turning the lead of ignorance into the gold of consciousness. It wasn't just a metaphor, it was a code, a ciphered language to describe how vibration alters reality. And centuries later, names like Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein said the same thing in different words. If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But what no one clearly told you is how this affects you, right now, in this moment. Because we're not talking about distant concepts, but about what you are, what you emanate, what you create. You are not a body with a vibration. You are the vibration itself in human form. And the most intriguing part, your vibration changes all the time, even when you don't notice. A bad memory is enough to drop your frequency. Just one piece of negative news, an automatic thought of scarcity, a comment that triggers an old wound, and your station shifts, like a radio frequency being changed without you realizing. It's subtle, but deeply real. And precisely because it's invisible, many underestimate it. But the invisible is what sustains the visible. The way you see the world, the way people treat you, the opportunities that appear or vanish, all of this responds to the frequency you're emitting. Not because the universe is punitive or selective, but because it is responsive. It reflects. And this vibration doesn't depend on what you say you want, but on what you truly feel, think, and live in your internal field. There's no use wishing for peace if you vibrate anxiety. There's no use seeking abundance if your body vibrates with fear of losing. Because life doesn't respond to your surface desire. It responds to what you are vibrationally in silence, behind the scenes of your consciousness. That's why two people can experience the exact same situation, but have completely different results. One person walks into a room and everything flows. Another walks into the same room and everything stalls. What changes? The frequency. Because vibration doesn't lie. It speaks before speech. It leads before thought. It emanates before any rational choice. And here's one of the most overlooked secrets. Your vibration isn't shaped by big events. It's shaped by your micro-habits, by the conversations you have, by how you treat yourself internally, by the subtle repetition of thoughts you don't even notice. Every word you speak carries an energetic tone. Every emotion you feed vibrates in a specific field. Every daily choice contributes to the vibrational field you build. You are constantly creating a field around you, a field that precedes you, that arrives before your physical presence. It's like an energetic signature that the universe recognizes, and this field attracts. Similar vibrations connect. It's not punishment, it's resonance. So, if your life seems stuck, if the same patterns keep repeating, maybe the issue isn't in what you're doing, but in what you're vibrating while doing it. And in the next part, you'll discover the most common mistake that lowers your vibration even when you think you're doing everything right. The invisible mistake that keeps you stuck in low frequencies. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but incredibly powerful. That's why so many people who study spirituality, read about energy, and repeat affirmations every day still feel like they're stuck in the same place. Because there's a hidden mistake, an energetic blind spot that most people never notice. The emotional field doesn't lie. You can repeat 1,000 times, "I am light, I am prosperous, I am love," but if inside you're vibrating fear, lack, or insecurity, that's what the universe will feel. Because it's not the word that leads, it's the emotion behind it. Real vibration isn't in what you say, but in what you feel while saying it. That changes everything. It's like painting a wall with golden paint expecting the inside of the house to change. On the outside, it looks pretty. On the inside, it stays dark. Vibration works like that. If you use pretty words to mask dense feelings, your energy keeps vibrating at the frequency that hasn't been cleared. And this happens because we were taught to use the mind to control emotion. We create affirmations like we're trying to convince the universe, but deep down we're trying to convince ourselves of something we don't truly feel. And the universe doesn't respond to what you want to believe. It responds to what you already are energetically. You say you're abundant, but your body vibrates worry. You say you're love, but you still hold anger from unresolved things. You try to raise your vibration through your mind, but your body is tense, blocked, closed off. And that's what brings everything down. This is the mistake that traps thousands of sincere seekers. People who are trying, making an effort, doing everything right, but don't understand why they're still stuck. Because until the internal emotion is transformed, the frequency doesn't rise. It keeps spinning in circles within the same pattern as always. And the more you try to force a high state, the more friction you create with what you really feel. That generates spiritual frustration, a sense of doing everything and getting nowhere. Because true vibration only happens when mind and heart are in coherence. And here's something almost no one tells you. It's not enough to think differently. You have to feel differently. And feeling requires presence, surrender, internal listening. It requires stopping the control and starting to allow. Feeling goes deeper than repeating. Feeling truly transforms. But for that, you need to access the emotional field honestly, to look at what hurts, what was swept under the rug, what the mind tries to ignore, but keeps vibrating in the background day after day, shaping your entire reality. This is where many people give up. Because facing what you feel is scary. It touches old layers. It brings up forgotten wounds. But that's exactly where freedom lies. Because the denied emotion keeps leading your vibration without you even knowing it. But the emotion that is felt, welcomed, released, turns into power. And there is a path to do that. A practice passed down orally through secret spiritual lineages. A technique that works exactly where vibration is born, in the energetic body, where emotion and breath meet. There is an ancient technique that reverses this in minutes, and it was passed in secret by initiates. We will reveal its foundation in the next part. A simple practice, but one that has been forgotten by much of the modern world. Conscious breathing combined with elevated emotion. We're not talking about deep breathing to calm down, but something infinitely deeper. An ancient spiritual technology used by Sufis, yogis, and initiates in the temples of Thoth. A silent, internal process capable of transforming your vibration in a matter of minutes. Breathing, by itself, is already a portal. But when you combine breath with a real, elevated emotion, something shifts in your structure. Because breath is the bridge between body and soul. It's there all the time, but you rarely notice it. When you begin to breathe with intention, you activate energy centers that have been dormant, and that's when the miracle begins. Now imagine, you inhale deeply, but along with the air, you visualize a golden light entering your chest. A light that carries peace, that carries gratitude, that carries love. You're not just breathing. You're calling a vibration into your field, and when you do that with surrender, with real feeling, with presence, your vibration starts to reorganize, literally. Science is beginning to understand this. Studies in neuroscience and physiology show that your breathing pattern directly influences your nervous system, your heart rate, your hormones, and even your perception of reality. Breathing slowly, deeply, and with intention triggers what we call heart coherence, a state where the body, heart, and brain enter into resonance. But what the ancients knew, and we're only now starting to rediscover, is that when you add true emotion to the breath, you don't just relax, you reprogram your frequency, and it doesn't take much. 3, 5, 10 minutes a day, as much time as possible, as long as it's done with truth, with surrender, not as a technique to fix something, but as a sacred ritual of reconnection with your vibrational essence. You breathe in love, you feel the love in your chest, you let it grow, expand, vibrate throughout your whole body, and when you exhale, you release everything that no longer resonates with that vibration. Fear, tension, anger, judgment, all of it begins to dissolve in the silence of your presence. This is not an exercise. This is a code, a tool left behind by ancient civilizations who knew that true power is not in big external ceremonies, but in the ability to move energy within the self. And moving energy is changing vibration. And changing vibration is changing reality. You don't need any object, no belief, no complicated technique, just presence, breath, and true emotion. But what comes next goes beyond breath. It involves something that organizes even matter, and you already carry it within you. The sound that aligns matter and spirit. You may have never thought about this, but sound is an invisible architecture that builds, destroys, activates, or paralyzes. And this isn't theory, it's direct observation. The science of cymatics has shown, through real images, how different sound frequencies organize particles into geometric patterns. A simple tone can form perfect mandalas in sand, dust, or water. Now imagine what that same sound can do to your energy field, which is infinitely more sensitive and complex than any physical experiment. You are not just skin and bone. You are layered vibration. And all those layers react to sound. Your body, your organs, your emotions, your energy centers, your subtle field. Everything vibrates in response to frequencies that enter not only through your ears, but also through your skin, your bones, and the air around you. That's why certain music makes you cry, even without lyrics. Why certain ancestral chants make your heart race or your skin tingle. Because sound doesn't need to be understood by the mind. It's felt directly by the soul. It speaks to what's beyond words. Ancient civilizations knew this, and they used this power with reverence. In Egypt, in the temples of Thoth, certain sounds were chanted to activate ancestral memory. Among Tibetan monks, mantras were used to access higher states of consciousness. Among indigenous peoples, shamanic chants guided healing and spiritual expansion rituals. And even today, in cultures that still preserve this knowledge, sound is treated for what it is, a vehicle for vibrational transformation. But we're not talking about just any sound. We're talking about sounds that carry pure, harmonic, intentional frequency. Sounds like OM, RA, AH, HU. They're not just letters, they're vibrational codes, keys that open internal portals. Sounds that, when vocalized with presence, cleanse, unblock, awaken. These sounds work directly on the chakras. They vibrate in the soul's most subtle layers. They awaken dormant centers of being. But there's something even deeper, something not found in books or popular audio. A specific vibrational sequence, guarded by initiatic traditions, that not only activates energy centers, but accesses the highest point of human vibration. And this sequence is not just made of loose sounds. It requires intention, rhythm, breath. It connects emotion, body and spirit in a single vibration. When you chant this sequence consciously, you reorganize the internal chaos. It's as if your cells remember who you are, as if your soul recognizes the way back to the source. This sequence vibrates at a frequency that goes beyond personal fields. It touches the collective field, and in doing so, it doesn't just elevate you, it elevates the space around you. That's why it was always taught in closed circles, because a person vibrating in this state becomes a transmitter, a catalyst for change. And this is where Thoth's secret comes in, a sound practice protected for centuries. And you're going to learn how to use it. Because they knew that sound, when united with emotion and intention, doesn't just vibrate, it creates. And when we talk about creating reality, it's not a poetic metaphor, it's literal. Your body, made mostly of water, responds directly to the vibration of the words you speak. And not only responds, it shapes itself. Researcher Masaru Emoto demonstrated with crystal-clear images what many spiritual masters had known for centuries. Water's structure changes depending on the words and intentions it receives. Words of love, gratitude, forgiveness generate harmonic, beautiful, symmetrical forms. Words of hate, anger, or disdain generate chaos, distortion, fragmentation. Now think, if water reacts like that to a single word, imagine what happens inside you, where everything pulses, vibrates, and flows based on sounds and emotions every day. You feed yourself with what you say. You strengthen or weaken yourself by the way you talk to yourself. And the most powerful part, the tone you use when saying something often vibrates more strongly than the words themselves. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It's what you feel while saying it. It's the truth that carries the word from your mouth. And when, instead of just speaking, you sing, something deeper happens. Singing is not just producing notes. Singing is releasing sound with your whole body. It's vibrating from your core. It's activating your solar plexus, your heart, your throat. Singing with emotional intention is like lighting a fire within the soul. And when that singing carries sacred vibrational words, the frequency rises so intensely that the field around you transforms immediately. And it's not just any chant. It's not casual music. We're talking about specific words, sounds with archetypal charge, ancient codes, often short, but carrying a vibration that crosses centuries. When chanted with presence and true feeling, these words awaken the energy body, cleanse subtle channels, align the emotional field, and create a kind of natural shield against dense vibrations. This is the secret that was passed among priests, healers, initiates, and it doesn't depend on religion, culture, or language, because sound is universal. Vibration transcends time, space, doctrines. It doesn't need to be mentally understood. It only needs to be felt, chanted, embodied. That's why when you sing with true emotion, words like R-A, Om, H-U, or A-H, you're not just echoing a sound. You're activating a vibrational memory. You're emitting an energetic command that reorganizes your inner field. It's a kind of sonic alchemy. The word, combined with sound and emotion, becomes medicine. And the most incredible part, this practice is accessible. It's inside you. Your voice is the most powerful instrument you have. You don't need anything external to begin, just intention and presence. But like any sacred technique, there is a sensitive point that must be observed, something subtle that can completely block this power if not resolved. But before that, there's a subtle obstacle that must be released. Without it, no technique can be sustained. Anchoring. How to sustain high frequency. You can chant the right sounds, use the correct words, breathe with intention, meditate with focus. But if there's still hidden, silent, unresolved guilt inside you, your vibration will keep fluctuating. Guilt is like an invisible anchor. It holds you down, drags you, keeps you stuck. And the worst part, it doesn't scream. It whispers. It hides in the subtext of your thoughts, in reactions you don't understand, in decisions you sabotage without realizing. Guilt doesn't come from the present. It's a build-up, an echo from the past, from real or imagined mistakes, from unmet expectations, from choices you now condemn, from versions of yourself you reject. And while those parts remain there, muffled, buried, your energy doesn't stabilize. Because a part of you still believes it doesn't deserve to vibrate high. This is the part many ignore. It's what Thoth himself taught in silence, through symbols. True forgiveness is the greatest form of vibrational transmutation. But not that surface-level, social, automatic forgiveness. It's not about looking outward. It's about looking inward. Forgiving others still keeps your focus outside. But when you forgive yourself, something breaks, and something is reborn. Forgiving yourself is not forgetting. It's not erasing the past. It's welcoming who you were with compassion. It's recognizing that, at that moment, with that level of awareness, you did what you knew how to do. And now you know more. Now you feel more. Now you can free that version trapped in time. When you forgive yourself, your vibration releases. Your energy field expands. The flow returns. And what once seemed blocked starts to respond differently. This release creates space. And that space is essential, because high vibration needs space to sustain itself. It's like light. It doesn't settle in tight corners filled with shame or self-judgment. It needs openness, softness, vibrational honesty. And all of that starts with inner forgiveness. And it's exactly from this release that vibrational anchoring becomes possible. Because it's not enough to reach a high state for a few minutes. True change happens when that state holds, even as life happens around you, when the world is in chaos and you remain whole. High vibration isn't about being happy all the time, or living in constant euphoria, avoiding what's heavy. It's about coherence, about alignment between what you feel, think, say, and do. When that alignment exists, vibration doesn't need to be forced. It simply holds. And that has a name: vibrational coherence. The HeartMath Institute has scientifically proven that when the heart, brain, and body enter into sync, the electromagnetic field expands in a harmonious way. This isn't mysticism, it's quantum physiology. In this state of coherence, your nervous system regulates itself, your intuition heightens, your perception changes and you begin to interact with the field around you in a magnetic and powerful way. But how do you maintain that state in the middle of routine, challenges, and real-world pressures? The answer lies in simple but deeply transformative pillars. The first is radical presence. Being fully in the now. Not partially. Not with one part in the past and another projecting the future. Presence is when you anchor yourself in the present moment with your whole being. When you breathe and feel the now without trying to escape. The second is conscious speech. Everything you say carries vibrational weight. Speaking with intention is like encoding your reality in real time. You can vibrate love even when saying no. You can vibrate firmness without anger. You can vibrate light in your communication. The third is inner silence. The space between thoughts, the pause between noise. It's where the mind stops reacting and consciousness begins to guide. And the more you inhabit that space, the more stable your vibration becomes. The fourth is reconnection with nature. Walking barefoot on the earth, touching trees, breathing fresh air, listening to the sound of rivers. These are not just relaxing activities, they're vibrational resets. The earth vibrates at a frequency that resonates with your heart. When you align with it, you remember who you are. But there is a fifth hidden element forgotten even by seekers, and it is within you right now. The final technique, the sacred chant of 0 point. This fifth element is not out of your reach. In fact, it's the most accessible of all, because it lives within you. But few notice it. It is subtle, silent, invisible, and at the same time, it is the foundation of all creation. Thoth called it the 0 point, a space between what you feel and what you do, between what you think and what you manifest. It is the interval, the silence between the notes, the pause between cycles, the total stillness. 0 point is not a physical place. It is a state of pure presence, a field where everything dissolves, name, form, effort, control. When you enter this state, the reality around you doesn't need to stop, but something inside you simply ceases. It's as if time freezes, as if the mind loses its grip and, for a moment, only raw consciousness remains. And in that space, there is no past or future, no expectation or attachment. There is only you, in pure vibrational essence. This is the point of origin, where all creation begins, where possibilities have not yet collapsed, where energy has not yet been shaped by thought, emotion, or language. It is the field where everything is potential and nothing is fixed, and it's exactly there that true power is revealed. Accessing this state isn't about exhausting practice, it's about presence. The mind will try to resist. It will want to do, to understand, to control. But 0 point is not reached through effort. It reveals itself when you let go, when you stop trying to vibrate high and simply allow the vibration to be. It happens in the absolute now. You can reach this state through breath, through silence, through a simple gesture of surrender. Sometimes it reveals itself in the instant between one thought and the next. In a moment when you feel your heartbeat and realize everything is okay. Even if nothing has changed on the outside, something changes within. A deep, serene, steady calm. This state is not common, but it's not distant either. It's available. It always has been. You just weren't taught how to access it. And that's why now, the time has come. The time to activate the final technique. The one that not only elevates your vibration, but anchors it at the highest level of all. The same one Thoth preserved in silence, waiting for this moment. This technique is not complex. but it requires something few are willing to offer: inner truth. Because the sound that activates it can't be chanted from the surface. It has to be born from the center, from the point where emotion, body, and spirit meet. You don't speak. You don't sing like in a song. You breathe. You become silent. And in the center of your chest, when everything inside you is quiet, you allow the vibration to begin. It is a single word, but it only works when you feel it, when it rises from within, when it is guided by the purest intention in you. It doesn't come from the mind, it comes from your essence. It may sound like a subtle tone, like a vibration echoing in your ribs, like a gentle tremor rising up your spine. You vocalize it slowly, with presence, with truth. And then, everything reorganizes. This practice accesses the original frequency of your soul, the one that existed before the traumas, before the masks, before the layers. It's like tuning your being to what has always been deep within, but was forgotten. When done consistently, this technique doesn't just shift your temporary state, it creates stability, it anchors. And there comes a point when you no longer need to try to vibrate high, because you become the high vibration itself. Your presence begins to emit a steady frequency, one that influences the field around you. It no longer matters what people say, what they do, what happens out there. Your vibration stops being reactive. It becomes a reference, and when that happens, reality responds. People begin to sense something different in you. Opportunities that once seemed impossible begin to appear. Difficult decisions become clearer. Physical symptoms disappear. Intuition blooms. Synchronicities intensify. Everything changes. Now that you've received this code, what you do with it won't just change your life. It will change the whole field around you. The new frequency has already been activated. The universe is listening. If this message touched you in any way, leave in the comments. I received the sound of 0 point. This phrase carries a real vibration. It anchors everything that was awakened here and can still activate others who read it. And if you want to support this work more directly, there is a pinned access in the first comment for those who feel called to help spread more content like this around the world. That way you support the channel, and the vibration keeps expanding. And before you go, listen to this. A special video has been set aside for you to continue this journey. It's the next step, the next code. Click on the screen now, and I'll see you there.